Hey everybody, this is AJ.
And this is Jurn, baby.
And we are two pro wrestling maniac game streaming lunatics that provide you a podcast every week.
I don't know if that's the best description of us, but sure.
That's fair enough. I said pro wrestling maniacs because I'm going to go work out at the gym with Joe Gacy later, so it just came to mind.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm so excited
Big
for
Joe.
I'm so excited for my mandate, and I also haven't been inside a gym in 3 months, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, I haven't been in a gym in a long time either. I kind of miss it, yeah.
Oh, it's very rare to hear you say that, so I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, which is why I said it.
Yeah. Didn't expect that, but also when you sneeze, you get in shape, so you can probably just kiss my ass.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still fine with how I look, even though I barely work out nowadays. So
Yeah, I think you have some pretty damn good genetics, especially like looking at you from your younger years before you like bulked up and you were pretty shredded and just looked like beach bod ready. And I was kind of like, oh man, I hate young Jurn Simmons too.
yeah, I look like such a douche. I like this. I had such a like the typical like non-haircut haircut. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Where,
yeah.
like you have hair, but you don't really do anything with it.
It's just kind of
Like, that
wavy.
kinda stuff. Yeah, it's just kind of there. You know,
I
it's
mean,
just like looking back at it now that genetics has like made me bald as fuck.
mm-hmm.
You know,
I feel that
and
struggle.
I kind of look back at it. It's like, man, I should have done more with my hair. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it kind of is what it is. I don't know. Like I always thought like I had pretty shitty genetics, right?
Yeah.
Because like in high school and all, all of that stuff, I was just like a fat kid.
Mm-hmm.
But now looking back at it, it's like, yeah, it's probably because like I literally did nothing. So, because like I used to be like into majorly like into athletics and stuff and did like a bunch of sports and everything. But then like when I started going to high school, I just stopped doing that. So,
Yeah, when I look back at my hair, I did my best attempt
yeah,
because it was long for a
you
long time and
you held off for a really long
a
time.
real long time. Now I'm just going full Jason Statham, as people like to tell me. I don't see the resemblance, but I'll take it. And as far as genetics, I always used to look back and be like, oh, no, I just didn't know how to eat, and that's why I was skinny fat. And then now, more and more, as I'm become knowledgeable about this kind of stuff and train real hard and train properly and eat properly and stuff, and look at the way my body gets rid of fat and builds muscle, I'm like, oh, no, that combined with looking at my family history, I do have poor genetics. Like, currently, I'm the biggest and leanest I've ever been. And
Yeah.
like I'm starting to get those hint of abdominal muscles. Like my niece the other day was just like, "What's that?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Are those abs?" I was like, "I hope so." And she's like, "They kind of look like it." I'm like, "They're not there yet." But like my like right bicep vein is starting to pop out as much as my left, and like now when I move, like the shoulder veins kind of just pop just from a slight movement. So like I've gotten
Yeah.
pretty lean for me, yet like the majority of my fat storage is still around like my waist and my hips and my lower fat, which is the same for everybody, but it literally feels like it'll pull every last ounce out of everywhere else before it'll really concentrate on my stomach. And if you look at my family, like I see why. Like my family is either like real tall and like super skinny with a little gut, or they're just kind of overweight. So
Okay. Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, like my family for the most part is pretty athletic. Yeah. Oh well, I shouldn't say that because that's just uh, like my direct family. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like my dad, like you've met my dad. Like he,
Yeah.
like
So
he doesn't really work out anymore or
I
whatever.
literally cut you open, and then, hey, this is my dad. Oh, hey.
Yeah, but he like he used to be like in the sports and shit as well. Like he did like karate back in the day, like a lot, and then he fucking and he did like fitness a bunch like later on. So he was always in shape until like he got kids. Like, I
Oh,
guess.
you fucking ruined him. He
Yeah,
couldn't get
me
rid
and
of
my
that. He couldn't get rid of that pregnancy weight.
yeah, exactly. But then like my mom is still like in good shape and everything, right? And then my brother, for some reason, is always like in insane shape. Like he doesn't like he has to try even less than me. But that but then like if I look at like my non-direct family, like they're all kind of out of shape. Yeah. Like my cousins, my aunts and uncles and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, so maybe it doesn't run in the family. Maybe it just runs in my direct family. But I was also like because of wrestling, like I got super like size obsessed at one point, right? As far as physique goes. So like I just like was just like, oh, the bigger the better. I just gotta get fucking huge, you know.
Yeah.
And then I got up to like nearly 300 pounds or whatever.
Yeah, you're a big old hoss.
Yeah, yeah. And then but then I kept looking at pictures of myself. It was just like, oh man, I look like shit.
Every
Like
so
I was super.
often, me and Callie will scroll through pictures of like how we used to look and how we look now, and how like we've both gotten in so much better shape. And
Yeah,
she'll bring up a picture and she'll be like, haha, fat urine.
yeah,
And I'm like, man, at the time, like I didn't realize his cheeks were as thick as they were. Like you're
yeah. I didn't realize either,
like you didn't
but
like in hindsight, like at the time, you didn't look bad. You just looked like a big thick boy. But compared to how you look now, you're like, oh man.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But it's like I remember, I remember looking at a picture of myself and just hating it. You know, it's just like, oh, such a fat piece of shit. Like, and that's like why I started like losing weight. But like, there's been like a bunch of times where I've tried to lose weight before, and I just like, I don't know, man. Like, it just wouldn't work. I think it was just like one of those things where like, um, I just I felt like I was starting to get small like really fast.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, gotta put it back on, and then like I just kept like floating in between,
Yeah,
and
dude.
like what's was neither really.
That's the story of me, and I think that's the story of everyone who gets into like working out for aesthetics and physique. And like, there's so many myth and rumors, and there's so many things on YouTube telling you that, oh, these are the secrets when there really is no secret. There is no,
Yeah, yeah,
and like guys like me and you who pride themselves on being big, like we want to be big, thick heavyweights. We don't want to be junior
yeah,
heavyweights. Like we like
yeah,
the big guys. So like for guys like us who are like, oh man, I'm starting to get a little too big, I'm sloppy, and then you cut down, instantly you see like that layer of fat go away. So you're like, oh no, I'm getting small. When in reality, if you get all cut up, the muscles you have will just be enhanced because of the curvature and stuff, and you'll look bigger. But you got to get past that like first curve of like getting slightly smaller to look better. And some people like when they see that, they instantly go back to sizing, and that's what I did for years and years and years, and never stuck with getting like more in shape.
yeah. So that's what I had as well. Until like at one point I was just like, all right, fuck this. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember when you were losing weight and I was getting closer to your size, and I was like 250, and I was like, I never thought it'd be 250. I'm fucking massive. This is amazing. And then I was like, but I'm still not like looking like Carrie Von Erich like I hoped. What's the deal? And then like Kelly very politely, probably the most politely she's ever put, and other people were like, yeah, man, like you, and like Marius would always say, you don't have any cuts. So I'm kind of like, oh, this isn't all muscle. I just also got kind of fat. And like I saw a picture
yeah,
from us at WrestleMania weekend where your elbow is like in front of my stomach. I'm like, oh, look at that
yeah,
big old barrel chest. I'm a big motherfucker. And then there's another shot where it's just me adjusting my waistband, and I'm just like drooping over it. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no, that's me.
yeah. But I had the exact same thing, right?
Hmm.
For like a long time, where um yeah, where we're just super self conscious about that shit. And and now it's just like, all right, I feel like shit, you know, because like I feel like fat as fuck the entire time.
Hmm.
And then I feel like even more like shit because of all the pictures of me that keep popping up. So I don't know, I just like but that also like made me think like that going back and forth and all of that stuff, right? It
Hmm.
also made me think that I had shit genetics, right?
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, just like because I was a fucking fat kid in high school, and then like I'm just fat now. Like it's got to be like fucking rough for me to just lose weight. Turns out it's really not.
Yeah.
You just gotta like you just gotta fuck. I just gotta commit. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot of discipline, and again, like a lot of people don't realize, like they're like, "Oh, I'm not losing weight," and it's like, "Do you know how much you're eating a day?" No, but I'm
Yeah.
exercising. Okay, that's great, but you're probably not exercising all that hard, and you're probably still eating way more than you need to. And
Yeah.
I think at least in America, a big problem is like at least my generation was always taught in school, like, oh yeah, like average individual requires like 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day. That's an average person diet, and I'm like, no, it's not. No, you're telling this girl who's 5'2", and I just specify girls because girls, their body doesn't have the same resting metabolic need as a male the same size would. So that's
Yeah.
that just to really put it at the end of the spectrum here. But you're telling this girl that's like maybe 5 feet tall who doesn't exercise that she needs 2,000 calories a day when in fact she probably only needs 15 to 1,600. That's
Yeah. I was about to say like 1,500 sounds more like it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's 500 surplus a day, which then in a week is 3,500, which 3,500 calories is about the energy of 1 pound of fat. So that would convert to 1 pound of fat. And all of a sudden, in like half a year, all of a sudden she's like really out of shape and out of weight because you told her this bullshit. And then like no one, everybody's now preaching like, oh, like vegetables and fruit and stuff like that. And yeah, of course you need it, but you can even overeat on that as well. Like
Yeah.
this,
You
like
can overeat on anything. You
yeah,
know?
there's so many like myths and bullshit out there. That's why I like the YouTuber I sent you, Greg Doucette, because he's like
Yeah.
pretty much he'll go through people's fitness YouTubers. And again, guys, just because a fitness YouTuber has like millions of followers doesn't mean they know a fucking thing.
No, I remember I saw one. I forgot his name, but like I saw one YouTuber, which just like it's just like an in shape guy. Like there's nothing really special about him or
Yeah.
whatever. But he's just like in shape. He's just like, oh, like here's some low calorie snacks. Like if you're dieting and you just need to get them snacking, but it won't affect you that much, like that kind of thing. And it's just like he's just dipping everything in peanut butter. It's like
Yeah.
peanut butter is not low calorie.
Yeah, no.
Like,
One tablespoon of peanut butter is
I
about
fucking love peanut butter. Don't get me wrong. I eat it every goddamn day, but it's not low calorie.
no. For anybody who doesn't know, let's say Peter Pan peanut butter, which is a brand over here. I don't know why Disney has a brand of peanut butter or how they got the rights to being Peter Pan butter, but wow, say that 5 times fast. But one tablespoon of that is 220 calories. One tablespoon. That's a fuck ton. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. And for anybody who's listening to this who are like, "Oh, you're in Asia are pretty good shape." Like for no matter what fitness YouTuber says, no matter what you read online or what study says, which again, most of the people who interpret studies and use them as proof don't actually know how to read a scientific study, so they just have this bullshit cause and effect logic that just leaps over certain points. But what's most important with either fat loss or weight gain is calories in, calories out. You want to lose fat,
Yeah.
eat less calories than you burn naturally in a day. If you want to put on weight, eat about what you need or a little bit over. If you're not like a power lifter or something like that, you don't need to eat 500 calorie surplus. I did that for the longest time. And that's why whenever I would cut, I would always then get fat again. And right now,
Yeah.
I'm eating in a 500 calorie deficit to lose weight, and I've still gained a little bit of lean muscle. So,
Yeah.
so for everybody who says like, oh no, but like this person said, all you have to do is not eat after 8 o'clock and you'll lose weight. No, because what if you eat 3,000 calories before 8 o'clock? Like you still have too much energy than your body uses.
Yeah, I like honestly like Skillet like really wisened me up to like that kind of stuff, right? Because I used to be set in the thing of like, oh, I eat every two to 3 hours,
Yeah.
like all that kind of stuff, just like very like old school bodybuilder kind of thing. And then I was just like he helped me out with like my nutrition and fitness and all that kind of shit, right? Because I paid him to do so.
Yeah.
But
And everybody who would like the same fresh coaching, like he's available for work and he's helped me a lot as
yeah.
well. He's the fucking man.
Honestly, he's the best trainer I've worked with so far. Also because like he fucking checks in, which is like a big deal, right?
Yeah.
But which like literally every trainer I've had before this like has not done that. But the thing was as well, like, because he had it like sorted in like these different meals for me as well that like I could like eat like every 2 to 3 hours, and then like it'd be fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, like it was a thing of like, fuck, what was it again? That I like didn't have enough time in the day or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then he was just like, yeah, but you can just like eat it all at once if you want to. Basically, it's just like as long as you just like get this in 24 hours, it's fine.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay. That makes it actually a lot easier as well.
Yeah. See, a lot of people see that old school bodybuilder thing of like, oh, every 2 hours, and like I need to have this, this, and this for my meal at this time. Here's the thing: look at bodybuilders, and you're probably watching Olympia documentaries and stuff like that. These are the elite of the elite who are sculpting their body to a T. Like every precise thing is calculated and measured, and for their body type too. So many people take this stuff out of context and are like, "Oh, I need to eat every 2 hours." Well,
Well,
do you know what your body needs and how much nutrition you need to begin with? Or are you literally just mimicking them? Because you are 90
yeah.
steps away from doing what they need to do.
Yeah. But it's, yeah. But it's also the thing, like, I feel like that's where like a lot of people like already fail. You know what I mean? Where it's like they try to like mimic like bodybuilders or whatever, or like this all of this stuff of like on fitness, social media and that sort of thing. But it's just like, oh yeah, like rice, fucking chicken, and broccoli, like that's the way to go. Like just eat that all day, every day. But it's fucking boring. You know what I mean?
And
But like,
it's super micronutrient deficient.
yeah.
Super
But
deficient in nutrients.
yeah, but like if you're a bodybuilder, I don't think it holds up today, you
Yeah.
know? But it's still like that is like that extra step, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like for most people to just be in good shape, like in shape that they're happy with, you don't need that shit.
No,
You
not
know
at
what I
all.
mean?
I
You don't need
like
that shit at all.
me and Jurn are professional athletes in a sense. Not exactly at the moment, but
Yeah.
I'm currently
Semi-professional.
we're semi-pro right now.
Yeah.
But I am in the best shape of my life, and I have not had a dry chicken and broccoli meal in forever. Like a couple times a week, I'll end up having some chicken with like a little bit of low-calorie barbecue sauce, straight Ronnie Coleman style, for that late night stack and to get my last bit of protein in and to finish out my calories for the day. But like I'm eating like Quest protein pizzas and Quest like protein tortilla chips, and I'm just like every once in a while I'll go to 7-Eleven, get some taquitos, and I'm in the best shape of my life. It fits my
Yeah, I mean
nutrient and
like
calorie needs.
yeah, I mean like I still eat like plenty of chicken and like spinach and shit, but that's just because I'm really lazy. So it's just like I can just grab that and eat it, which makes it easy for me, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what a lot of like how I eat is based off of. It's just I don't want to cook or anything like that.
Mhm.
But it's also a thing like yeah, I eat chocolate pretty much every day. I eat pizza all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm in the pretty much the best shape of my life as well. So
Yeah. And that's another thing is what was it? Is people again out of context. Like back in the day, bodybuilders didn't know any better, so people now are like, "Oh, I need to eat 8 ounces of chicken and this much rice and this much broccoli because that's how Phil Heath eats." And it's like,
yeah,
well, I said back in the day, and I use a current example, but here's the thing: Phil Heath is 5'4", 260 pounds, and nothing but muscle. What he needs in that meal is not what you need in that meal. So, like, or either you're vain or you don't understand.
yeah. I remember I saw one like fitness dude as well. Like once again, I don't remember his name, but he was just basically saying like yeah, like people try to jump on like this like all broccoli, all rice chicken like diet, all that kind of stuff, even though nobody really wants to eat like that.
No.
And he's just like, here's the thing: if you're overweight and you want to lose weight, just like do it step by step. When you go to McDonald's and and instead of getting two menus, get one.
Yeah.
Get Diet Coke instead of full fat Coke. Yeah, what I mean,
Yeah,
like
I was
just do it step by step and like break it down and you will lose weight and you will like start to look better and stuff, right? So
I was watching like Rob Dyrdek used to have this show. I forget what it was, but it was him and his like bodyguard. And he took his bodyguard to a nutritionist to lose weight. And the first thing the nutritionist said was like, "Okay, first thing we're gonna do is just limit your portions. So like, tell me what your breakfast is. He's like, I have this, and like 6 biscuits, and then she's like, okay, take away 2 biscuits, take away this many eggs, and that's how we'll start. And like Rob, like the dude Rob Dyrdek was like, this doesn't sound right to me. Shouldn't he be eating vegetables and doing this and that? Like, this doesn't
Yeah,
sound right. Arguing with the nutritionist, and she's like, no, he needs to limit his portions first. If I try to switch his diet completely altogether, there's no way he'd adhere to it. And
yeah,
also, if you just like, it's not necessarily about like switching all healthy, eating organic and stuff like that. It's about what your body needs and getting the right proportions and appropriate proportions. And then you can start to make it more healthier choices, which you'll kind of learn how to do anyway once you adhere to your calories, because you'll learn what calorically dense foods are and what not so calorically dense foods are. And usually the ones that aren't so dense are the ones that are healthier for you. And like,
yeah.
it's just, and like, I was also amazed because this skateboarding idiot was arguing with a nutritionist that he hired. Like, anybody who hires a professional for help and then argues with him is a fucking moron.
Yeah.
But again, also, as far as like, proportions and stuff like that, I've had so many friends who are like, oh, I'm going to get healthy and I'm going to start meal prepping, and that'll help me adhere and be healthier during the week so I don't eat out and stuff like that. But then they'd prep all these meals, and and there's two issues with meal prepping when you don't know what your caloric needs are and stuff, and you take that as the first step. One, every week you have to sit down almost half a day to prep out all your meals for the week and make them and cook them and all that kind of stuff. And that's
Yeah, I
very
hate
hard.
that shit.
Yeah, so do I. And that's very hard to adhere to. And even me and Jurn, who are semi-pro professional athletes, don't and can't do that, right? So how is a regular person going to adhere to all that? Second is, if you're doing that as your first step, you clearly don't know what your caloric needs are. You clearly don't know what your macronutrients may be. Some people say you don't need to track macronutrients. Some people say they prefer it. Like Coach Greg Doucette, who's a fucking genius, he says it's just calories in is out. You don't need to track your macros as long as you have a certain protein. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's smarter than me, but me being like a harder gainer, I find like a certain balance just seemingly feels like it works for me, even if it's just like a placebo effect.
The thing is, well, at the end of the day, like it does like work differently for everybody, person to person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
you do have to like test a bunch of shit, basically, like use yourself as a guinea pig
Yeah. But
and like see what works for you.
yes, but
Right.
the one thing that is not translucent, but works for everybody, that is like everyone has to adhere to, is like the calories in, calories out, because it's the law of thermodynamics. It's just how your body works, regardless of your genotype or your body type or your metabolism or all that kind of other excuses people have. And
Yeah,
then
for sure.
but then back to my point, like, people are doing all this food prep, and it's like, well, do you know how many calories are in all this? You're just doing what's apparently healthy food, but you don't know how many calories are in that, how much protein, how many of those are you going to eat a day? How do you even know if all this meal prep is going to help you, because you don't know what your actual nutrition needs are? So you're just kind of, and then it doesn't work for them, and then that's another reason they can't adhere to it, and then they're back to where they started, because people see all these other people doing stuff, and they don't know what their first step actually is.
Yeah, but it's also like they feel like they put in a lot of work and it doesn't instantly pay off.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Which obviously, like I can relate. Like that's super frustrating, right? But that's like you can put in like way less work, have it pay off way quicker. It'll still take time.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like it's not gonna happen overnight. You know what I mean? So
Also, oh, were you going to go for
yeah.
it?
No, go ahead.
Also, something I was going to add is some people, I think, fall off the boat because real quickly they see results if they stick to it for a week or two, because they lose all this weight suddenly. They're like, oh, I lost 5 pounds in a week, and this is incredible. And then all of a sudden the next week it's much slower, and the week after that it's even slower, and they're like, oh, it's not working. I got to switch to something else. When in actuality, because I actually, someone in the chat that I was helping go through this, they actually had like a big bounce at first, and they're like, oh, this is great. And then I had to like kind of warn them, like, don't worry if this happens or this happens, because this is for this. But that first week or whatever, because you finally got your nutrition back in the proper spot, you're mostly just like losing water and excess water that you're storing because of the excess amount of carbs that you're eating, and the
but you
excess of
also,
food.
like, if you work out along with it, you have to take into account like newbie gains.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Newbie gains and metabolism get kickstarting where it hasn't in a while, and then finally being at the right calories. You're not storing, rather. So not only you're not losing, you're not storing. You're all of a sudden building muscle that you didn't have before, didn't realize you have before. You're kickstarting your metabolism properly, so you're going to get a good bump real quick.
Yeah, but that's the thing as well. Like you and I haven't like been to a gym in a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've only been like doing home workouts. So I haven't even worked out with weights in a long time.
Same, but I'm fortunate enough that
So
I have like a little bit of equipment here. I've made it work.
yeah. So as soon as like gyms open back up, for me that's like next month. So it's in like 3 weeks.
Okay.
Um, like I'll like I'll pack on like fucking like 5 or 10 pounds of muscle in like a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
you know, because that's also muscle memory. But but it's just because like, oh, like my body hasn't been used to that for a while, so it immediately like kickstarts that like real quick.
Yeah.
And then the whole point is like got to be consistent to then like gradually and slowly build and grow and progress.
Yeah. Like a lot of people got on Calum Von Moger because he got injured. He got off all the supplements, as we'll call them, and he kind of shrunk down to like 205. And everybody was like, "Oh, look, he was all juiced up and this or that." And I was like, "No, it's mostly because he's injured and he can't do anything. So his muscles, they shrink. And yeah, some of it I'm sure is like the gas, but not all of it. There's still plenty of hard work and stuff like that. People have this
Yeah.
weird misconception about that, but that's for another time. But then like all of a sudden he got it all right back when he was healthy again. Everybody's like, "Oh, what's this?" And it's like, no, it's not necessarily because of what he was taking. Your muscles remember that size. There's like
Yeah.
a molecular memory that they have. When you build a muscle and you build a fiber, it doesn't just shrink and disappear and go away. It gets smaller and gets inactive. But the next time you remind it and the next time you teach it, it builds and rebuilds itself like 3 or 4 times quicker than it did when it first built itself.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly like I experienced that like firsthand,
Mm-hmm.
like when I broke my ankle, because I shrunk down to like I was like I want to say like 255, something like that, like when I broke my ankle, and then I shrunk down to like 230. Um, but then like just like a couple of weeks in the gym, like I was back up to like 250, 255 again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that like it was super easy, but it's just like that's just muscle memory.
Yeah. And so for
So
everybody who hasn't been in the gym in the past couple months and are like, "Oh man, I've lost all my progress." Nah, the first month of being back in that gym, and being in a regular state of mind
yeah,
and stuff, you're gonna get it
you're
back
gonna
so
get it
quick.
back. Yeah,
It's not gone forever. You don't have to rebuild it from scratch. That's just not how the body works, fortunately.
I think it's like a thing like if you really like don't do anything anymore or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like you start losing slowly, like but that's like after 2 months
Yeah. And with
or
like
some shit like that.
little to no inactivity or proper nutrition.
Yeah, so it really ain't that bad.
Yeah. Like if you look at Arnold regularly now, he looks old, he looks a little flabby or whatever, but then like, and of course he's like 65 or something, almost 70. Of course he's
Yeah,
shrinking down a little bit. He's not lifting like he used to. But when he prepares for like a movie role and he works out just like a little bit, he fills up a lot bigger than he does usually regularly during the day or whatever. And you're kind of like,
well, yeah, but like you see that with like Chris Hemsworth as well, right?
oh yeah,
Whereas the thing, like when he has to play Thor, all of a sudden like he's bigger than like his other roles. It's just like yeah, he changes his training to like you know bulk up again.
yeah. And it's like again,
So
muscle memory. It's a little bit easier. And of course, those Hollywood celebs have that farmer grade stuff available for them.
yeah,
Come on now, let's not beat around the bush. We all know those Hollywood fat cats are taking all the drugs.
God, fuck it, I would as well if I was in Hollywood,
I mean, hey, good for them.
dude. If I was told like, hey, even if it's like some shitty like side part, right? It was
Hmm.
like, hey, like you get to be in like a superhero movie, you got to be in the fucking best shape of your life. We wouldn't mind if you got on some stuff. I would
Yeah.
be like, hey, I got you. You know what I mean?
It's like word, fam.
Yeah. Don't sweat it. I'm on it.
That reminds me of that More Plates, More Dates YouTube guys who sometimes will go through like what he thinks Hollywood celebs have taken to prepare for their roles and stuff like that, which I find very interesting. The dude's like a doctor at it, but he's like
Yeah.
literally just a gym bro.
Yeah, but he's just like researched it so much that he knows like a bunch of shit about it, right?
Yeah.
I do think it's also because like I think a lot of times it's dope because he goes like, yeah, this could be attainable naturally. I don't think they did, but
Yeah.
it's possible.
Yeah.
And then like if you like, I love his video about like Henry Cavill because he really goes like, yeah, I don't think he did anything,
Yeah, he goes
you
into
know.
like how they prepare for those very specific shots and how he doesn't actually look like that, and like don't
Yeah,
trick yourself into thinking that's the ideal body because he's dehydrated himself and it's camera angles and yeah.
yeah, and that's yeah, that's what I love as well. It's like you guys do have to realize like this is a movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they get the right lighting. They have him pump up for like 5 minutes straight before before they shoot the scene. You know, and then it's just like one shot of like 10 seconds. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah,
And
it
that's
really
that's something I like about
yeah
Coach Greg Doucette's YouTube is he also like as much as he yells and he talks about this and that and whatever, he also goes into like certain videos are like, hey guys, you have to be happy with your body and don't let these Hollywood types or the Instagram fitness models trick you into thinking this is what they really look like or this is how you have to look or that this is healthy. Like, first off, be happy with you and then work on
yeah
just being your best self. Because guess what? Not everybody's going to be able to look at Arnold. Some people just genetically, it isn't possible. You, like,
yeah.
he's like, you have to be okay with that. And like, he does have some very positive messages through his yelling.
Well, yeah, that's the thing as well. Like he also talks about like some other like he talks about people like from Hollywood and other fitness like social media people, right? That have like a huge following, like bigger than him.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, a lot of time it's just like they're really fucking good looking.
Yeah.
You know? And he's just like, I wasn't blessed that way. Like so it is what it is, you know. But like, hey, good for them, you know, like that kind of thing. And he goes like, yeah, good for them for like using that to make that like a sustainable business model,
Yeah.
you know. But he goes like, yeah, I don't like, I'm not a good looking guy, so I have to back my shit up with science and stuff.
Yeah,
And
and
actual knowledge.
he's smart as shit. He has a master's degree, and like it goes back into like he'll pick apart a lot of these YouTubers that like are selling fitness, and because they have a strong jaw and they're good looking, people just buy what they're looking at, and because they're ripped. But if you actually look at their bodies, they're obviously just in a deficit. They're fortunate enough genetically that they have abs popping out with minimal training and proper diet. But if you look at the rest of their bodies, like you look at their bicep, you look at their tricep, you look at their shoulder, like they really lack a lot of development. So like all these people are going to them like, oh, this is how you get jacked or in shape. When in actuality, this individual isn't that jacked or in shape. They have proper genetics. They eat properly, and like they're fortunate enough that they have great genetics when it comes to their abs. But like that, not athlete X.
Yeah, that's usually the thing, right? It's
Yeah,
the abs.
but then like
So
there so many of them like are pretty like genetic, well, not genetically, but they're pretty like underdeveloped in a lot of areas, but people buy their nonsense. And then if you look at their science, they don't know what they're talking about. If you just read a textbook, or like they'll tell you like, oh, the like, this is my favorite one. Everybody likes to say like, again, I have no issue with anybody who does intermittent fasting, because I think it's a
yeah,
really good way to curve cravings and regulate what you eat to a time period, and then it helps you properly get in the proper amount. So I have no
yeah,
issues with it. But the issue I have is so many people back it up with like quote unquote science. You can't see my air quotes, but I'm doing it. And they're like, the air quotes are like, the air quotes, but they say like, oh, during the fasted periods, your body releases more growth hormone because it doesn't want your body to starve, and so it keeps to keep your muscles from breaking down, stuff like that. So therefore, with more extra released growth hormone, you'll grow bigger. But then like guys like Coach Greg or even Simon Miller has talks about fitness sometimes on his YouTube channel, and he's really smart. He gets it.
I don't know who Simon Miller is.
He's a dude from What Culture, and he wrestled like a couple matches.
Oh,
He's
okay,
entertaining. You'd like him, but
okay,
he like they'll point out like, yeah, that's great, the science, this cause and effect science saying by your body releasing growth hormone you're going to get bigger. Here's the thing: if during those fasted periods your body's releasing growth hormone but it doesn't have any nutrients or protein or anything to build that muscle with, it's not building any muscle. Like, it's bullshit cause and effect science. So people like these YouTubers will be like, read these studies that they aren't educated enough to read, and they'll put that out there, and it's just not true. And some of these, like some of the girl fitness YouTubers are like skinny. They have great genetics. They're in pretty decent shape. They have a flat stomach, and so all the girls are like, well, I want to, like, she's ripped, but she's not. She's fortunate. She's obviously very athletic. There's nothing against her hard work or nutrition or anything like that. but she's not jacked out of her mind. She's not overly developed. And when she's telling you, and there's one specific in mind, I'm just not going to name names because I also don't remember the name. But when she's telling you, oh, the way to build strong triceps is clap your hands together and put them over your head and then extend forward. And then if you keep doing that, you'll build muscles in your triceps. No. And if you need any proof of that, look at her triceps. Yes, you can see them, but they don't have the split. They haven't developed where you can see the different striations and they've started to come apart. Like everybody's seen a jack tricep where it looks like it splits out to two parts away from the muscle. If
I
you
look at my own tricep in the mirror every day.
hey baby, if you got them, you got to rock them. You know.
Yeah. Sometimes like I'll be at work, I'll be walking around.
Yeah.
I'll see like a window. I can flex that tricep. Yeah.
Dude, do you think I'm not? Come on now.
No, but the thing is, like you know how much I love jacked women.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I'm super upset with in general like fitness social media, because a lot of the girls there like aren't jacked, you know. And like I'm not saying they need to be or anything like that. Like if you don't want to be, that's fine. I don't give a shit. You do you, you know. But it's like it's one of these things where like, oh yeah, like they're like fitness idols for some people, and it's just like, well, they're just like skinny.
Yeah.
You know, like there's
nothing wrong with that. But like if that's your
no.
ideal goal, everybody has different goals. Everybody's beautiful in their own body. Hell, even if you're overweight but you're confident and you're beautiful with it, good for you. Fuck yeah. As long as you're healthy.
Yeah.
But like they see these people and they're just, you know, skinny and they don't have like they're tricked into thinking that's what qualifies them to give advice. Now, granted, we're saying this, but neither me and Jurn are technically qualified, but at least we recognize bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. And also like we give like points of references where we get our stuff from.
Yeah.
You know. And like we've seen enough, we've been working out long enough to
And we've made the mistakes.
yeah, exactly. Like we've worked out long enough, have enough experience to know like what kind of works and what doesn't, you know, or at least for us.
Yeah.
You know, at least for us. And then like guys like Skillet and all of that kind of stuff, like obviously they actually know because, you know, Skillet, for example, like studied this shit.
Yeah, got a degree in it and all that.
Yeah. So they actually like know, like they know way more than us, obviously.
I still go to Jan or Jay Skillett if I have a question or whatever. Him and Tyler Colton. If it's something strength related or size related, I'll go to Tyler because he's like a coach as well and he's a power lifter. And if it's something generally fitness or something more, a little bit more like detailed, I'll go to Jay and give my thoughts and see what he thinks.
Yeah, I usually go to Jay as well. And it's always the thing. Like I remember like at one point like when he was helping me out and all that stuff. And like the way he brought it was just like, hey man, like just like a little tip, like for this and this, maybe do it like so and so. And I was just like, oh yeah, no problem, you know. And he's just like, you know what, like that's why I like working with you because you don't like or like you don't mind being told that you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't mind it, like hey, like being told that like hey, you're not doing the right thing, do it this way. Because like that's the thing, like I have plenty of experience at working out and eating all of that shit, but obviously I can recognize when somebody knows way more about it than I do, so I'll just like take their word for it, you know, like they can lead me like whatever path they will. So if like Jay Skillett will want to like ruin me physically, he could, but but yeah.
That's another thing I love about Jay is for a while I would do like the bro split workout, which is like I do a body part every day, which just so you guys know is wrong. When you guys see bodybuilders put their plans out there, or The Rock's fitness plan, or Calum Von Moger's fitness plan, and they're like, oh, they just hit chest today and this is what they do. That's not necessarily just what they do for that day. That's just their chest workout, and then they'll follow it up with shoulders probably. And then something else. Everything is paired together. They don't just hit their body once a week like their plans tell you. When they're doing it, they're like, oh, this is what I'm doing it today. Or if you see it in a documentary, they're not showing the whole thing. Or it's what they're doing now because they're not necessarily trying to get the gains, but maintain and sculpt and figure things out as they go and like kind of fine tune things. That's not the way they actually build their size. And science supports that. And just think about it. If you limit the amount of sets and just make them good, hardworking sets, twice a week rather than go all out for 1 week, which your body will still only need the max 4 days to recover from. Or if it needs
Yeah.
longer than that, you've actually injured yourself. Then after a couple days, you're actually just like losing what you gained, not all of it, but losing what you gained a little bit, rather than you could make it a little bit more moderate with the sets, go full intensity and full, like, not volume, but like, time under tension, and do that multiple times a week. And then you're doubling or tripling the amount of progress you make in a year and not injuring yourself. And
Yeah.
for a long while, I was like, oh, no, I love the bro split. I love it the best or whatever. And Jan was like, it's not the smartest. I would like to see you do this. It's like, oh, it's just what I prefer. And he'd be like, you know what? If it's what you prefer and it's what you like and what's working for you, then do it. Because most importantly is to enjoy it, to adhere.
Yeah.
And then, like, within this past year, I was listening to more Craig Coach Doucette, and a couple other people made suggestions, and they're like, yeah, switch it to this. So now I do like a push-pull leg day, just constantly on repeat. And I've gotten way more progress, and it's way better. And Jan's like, or Jay, I'm sorry. Jay's like, yeah. Jay's just like, yeah, told you. Glad to see you're finally doing it. And my progress has been way better. Like,
Yeah, like he made me work out like that as well. And that was just like one of those things where when I started like working out with like a schedule from Skillet, it was also a thing of like I just remember like, oh, it became like way more or way less monotonous.
mhm.
Where it's just like, oh, like I kind of have more fun in the gym again, because it's just like it's a bunch of different like kinds of exercises, right? So you
Yeah.
have like just way more variety. And like a lot of stuff about like working out in the gym obviously is like it's very much just like a mental thing, right? So I just naturally don't like it. Like I'm naturally lazy.
Mhm.
And then for a long time I would just kind of go in, and like I would do the bro split as well, right? And then go in, do the fucking exercises, and just kind of like force myself through it and just not like it at all.
Mhm.
Uh, but then with Jay stuff, like I would actually like get challenged more like physically and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, all right, this is actually like pretty dope. But but yeah, but then it was like he had put like lunges in there and stuff,
Mhm.
which
Oh,
like I had never really
I
done.
hate lunges with a sweet, fiery passion.
Yeah, me too. So that's why I told him as well. I was like, I hate you for making me do lunges, And then but I think he kept them in there. See, I haven't worked out like properly for so long. I don't even remember what the schedule really is.
Yeah.
But but yeah, the thing is like that. But then like my squat got way better because of it, right? So I was just like, well, fuck it. Like, I guess it's worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Something I've been realizing with these home workouts is, and again, something, Jay always preached to me, and Coach Greg had said, and so many people much smarter than me, but I was just self-conscious. I want to make sure I was really working the muscle, is, it doesn't take a million sets and a million exercises per muscle.
Yeah.
And now that I'm home and I'm limited, I end up only doing 3 exercises for chest, like 2 to 3 times a week. And my sets are limited to 10 per day. Because, again, science shows that the best way to build muscle as far as size, not necessarily strength or anything else, but the best way to build a muscle in size is to make those sets last time under tension, slow going down, a little bit quicker coming up, and when you're contracting the muscle, and at max a muscle can handle, depending on the size, like your back can handle up to 30 sets, not exercises, 30 hard sets a week. And smaller muscles like maybe your chest, tricep, stuff like that, up to 20 sets. So like I'm only doing like maybe 3 exercises per body part in that day, with a combined 12 sets max. And like after the workout the first couple of weeks, I was like, I feel like I'm not doing enough, and I've gotten my best results. Because like I'm making sure those sets take time. My muscles under tension. I'm not just swinging the weight around. I'm taking my time on the way down. Explosive on the way up, but not too quick where I'm just swinging the weight. Really getting the feel for the muscle, getting that, like contracting the muscle, making sure I feel it. I'm feeling it tighten. I'm not going too quick. And you don't have to do a shit ton. You don't have to be in the gym over an hour.
No, you definitely don't. But like I haven't been in the gym for like over an hour like in a long time. You know, like
Yeah.
and like that's including like when gyms are still open, right?
Yeah.
But like, like I I I adhere to that like for a long time, like even before Skillet, right? I was just like, yeah, I don't think like as long as you just like kind of like hit it hard and hit it properly, you know, you don't need that long. You know, because it's like I see people like at the gym for like a long time, but then they're not even sweating when they're done working out. It's like, all right, did you really, you know, do your part? You know, did you really like actually try? But like, I don't know. So that's just kind of like I don't know. Like I usually work out like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that, and it's fine.
Yeah. Also, quick to the chat. Y2 Julian, I'm smarter than you. Eat my ass. Uh,
Well, he never said that like that wasn't the case.
oh, that's true. He just said so many people smarter than me. Quote, not hard, AJ. Well,
Yeah.
you can eat my ass, Julian. Uh,
I don't know. I agree with that statement.
you think you can kiss my ass too? I'm just real. See, here's the thing: real book smart at times, and things that I'm passionate about, but also real simple boy right here. Real simple, bit of an airhead sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's because of all my good looks.
I don't agree with that one.
What was the next point? I like how this just turned into an entire fitness podcast, which I'm digging. Because like
Yeah.
I really like helping people. Like there's one or two people in the chat that I've been helping like guide along a little bit, and then like kind of told like to go to Jay Skillet, but helped in the meetings that I could, and I was always up front with my knowledge or my lack thereof, or whatever it may be. And like they've gotten good
Yeah.
progress, and I love like educating people because for so long until I met like Jay Skillet and Nick Aldis and people that set me straight. I hold on real quick.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, come on. That was funny.
No, it wasn't. Play dumb games, win dumb prizes. For anyone who doesn't know, I just gave Y2 Julian a timeout because he pissed me off.
I thought it was funny.
I'm sure you did because you're a dickhead too.
Yeah.
But I'm not having someone who. Never mind. But like I like helping people like break those myths of like what works and what doesn't. And I like because there's so many people online that are like just spewing bullshit to sell their products or sell their programs or whatever it is, and like they're just giving false information and giving people false hope, and it's just sending them farther and farther down in their fitness goals or down mentally. And like first and foremost, no matter who you are, learn to be happy with yourself and how you look first, and then worry about
For
improving.
sure.
Like like there's nothing worse than looking in the mirror and not being happy with yourself, and you got to be happy with who you are first and foremost, because you're all beautiful in your own ways, and you're all special, and you all should be working to be your best self, not better than anybody else. And your best self is beautiful and it's unique because you're the only one that can do that. So first have that mentality before you start to do this, because if you get into this and like, oh, I have to be better, I have to be like this person or that person or whatever, it's
Yeah, you gotta love yourself before you can fuck someone else, you know.
yeah. Jesus Christ. What a quote. Oh man.
Yeah,
that was
that's it. It's a fucking fact, dude.
great. That was that's the title of the episode. But yeah, but exactly in a sense, because so many people, if your goals are to attain something someone else has or be like somebody else, or your goals are always derived from comparison to someone else, you'll never reach your goal, because you'll always be reaching you'll always be your hardest critic, so you'll never think that you size up. And you'll always be finding that new person to compare yourself to, and you'll never be able to succeed because you're putting yourself in a position to fail. Rather, if you try to be your best self, which is all you can do and all anybody can ask of you, and you're constantly improving, you're constantly winning, and you're constantly getting that positive reinforcement, and you can constantly keep going forward.
Yeah, and it's a thing like I think in general because I don't know how to say it in English, but in Dutch, like we always say that, like, oh yeah, people are good dieren, but that's like
Definitely know
fuck.
what that means. Word.
Let me look it up
It's
real
not
quick.
often that your needs to look
Oh,
up a translation.
yeah, like the like people like mankind are like herd animals, basically, right?
Yeah.
They're like they work in
We're
flocks.
sheep.
So yeah, exactly. So the thing is, like, most people's brain is kind of wired to be like, oh, what does so and so think of me? Like, what do all these other people think of me? Right? Which is like, if you're gonna think like that, you'll never really be happy with you because you'll always be adjusting to what somebody else wants.
Hmm.
And what somebody else wants is constantly changing because there's always like different people coming in and out of your life. You know what I mean? Like, you got to figure out like what you want and like what you like about yourself, what you dislike about yourself, what you want to improve, like all this kind of stuff. Like,
Hmm.
you got to look like within to really improve. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was my biggest struggle, like when wrestling and getting bigger and stuff like that, and bodybuilding. Not bodybuilding, but that's like kind of how I go about my training because that's what I enjoy.
Yeah,
Uh,
fitness.
yeah, fitness. Fitness dick in your butt. Anyway, so this is a meme I remembered. Like it was the sloth on the girl's shoulder that whispers in her ear. It's like, "Hey, you into fitness? You in this fitting this dick?" And I was just like, "Oh man."
That's very good. Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I was constantly being like, "Well, I want to look like this person." I still do that from time to time because it's kind of an end goal. But I don't compare myself anymore or size myself up to them. I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to get to this or to this, and how am I improving? And like, I'm a lot happier and a lot more motivated now that I'm not constantly like. There's people that I look at that motivate me. And it's like, okay, that's kind of the end goal. But every day, I'm not comparing myself to them. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, I realize I'm never going to be as fucking beautiful as Henry Cavill, so why bother? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Although that doesn't really have to do anything like, body wise, but
Wow, I'm not gonna have that saucy demeanor and accent like Tom Hardy. So like, what the fuck am I doing?
yeah.
Oh,
Why even try? Yeah. No, but like I get what you mean. Like, I think for me that was a big step as well. And like trying to like um compare myself to all these other people and doing like trying to get ahead of other people as well. You know what I mean?
hmm.
Where which I just think like probably like especially emotionally and mentally like set me back a lot. So
Yeah, uh,
yeah.
and like, man, you're jacked, dude. uh, just
Yeah.
just a little positive thing because I zoned out there for a
Thank
second.
you.
But also, I remember before you broke your ankle and we were teaming, and WXW would always room us together, which they still kind of
Yeah.
do every once in a while. If Kelly's not there, or even if Kelly's there, like it'll be a 4-person room and you're with us. Uh, but
Yeah, but I prefer when Kelly's not there.
just-
Just so we can spoon, you
yeah,
know.
fair enough. I mean,
Otherwise he's always hogging you, you know, and
yeah, and like to be
yeah.
honest, like sometimes I'm tired of being the big spoon. Sometimes I just
Yeah.
wanna and like me and Jurn will alternate nights. It's nice. But
Yeah.
I remember once I was in the top bunk and I was just looking down and like this is when you had first lost all the weight and you were ripped and I was like, I hate you.
Yeah, yeah, but then like to be fair, like I felt really good then, like physically, because obviously like that was a big thing for me. Is like, oh yeah, like I'd gotten in shape, so I was like, oh fuck yeah. But like at that point, I was like very much in the mindset of like, oh yeah, like I outworking like all these other people and like getting ahead of all these other people,
Hmm.
which honestly made me super like frustrated and bitter about shit, like mentally and emotionally. So I don't know if I was in the best place with my head
Yeah.
then, but like physically, yeah, I was in a pretty good place.
Yeah. Physically, you had that long hair, that bushy beard.
Yeah,
You shaved it that certain way, and you had like these abs. But honestly, like you look better now than you do then, because before then it was like you very freshly lost the weight, and like I don't know how to explain it, but you're like you had abs, but it didn't seem like your core was as strong as it is now. if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
Like,
think like my I think my abdominal region has developed like a lot since then.
yeah,
So
I would agree. I would agree. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, I know it's Friday, but you're my man crush Monday, my dude.
well, thanks, dog.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
But like, not to toot my own horn, but the other, like, I already told the fucking story of my niece being like, "Oh, there's abs," and I'm like, "Oh, not
Yeah.
yet, but you get extra birthday presents." But like, something I'm really proud of is my legs at the moment, because
Oh
like
yeah.
I'm pale as fuck, but I see like every separation and like veins are starting to come out, and like it's weird too, because I was talking to Kelly about this, because she's like, "Yeah, your legs are like your best feature," and when I was a kid, I hated leg day beyond belief. I would find
Sure.
any reason
That's hard.
possible to skip it. So the first several years of my training, I would do leg day maybe twice a month. And like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
now that I do it regularly, I'm kind of like, oh wait, like this is what I've got going for me. What was I doing? But I think part of
I
it,
don't know. Like leg day's still my least
oh,
favorite.
same. But I think part of it
I
was I
do it.
hated squats, and I figured I had to do squats, which squats are really good. They're the best exercise. But like, if you don't like something, it's going to keep you from going to the gym. Don't do it. But I found my motivation when it comes to certain things. And I think that's super important for plan adherence and all that kind of stuff. Is find your motivation. Find what gets you pumped. Does the scale get you pumped? Don't concentrate on the scale too much. You never should. But does losing weight get you pumped? Does seeing more muscle get you pumped? Does really blowing yourself up and being sweaty afterwards get you pumped? Does putting up
Yeah.
more weight on the bar get you pumped? And for me, like when I started pushing myself in squats and seeing how much I like, could lift and feeling powerful, like I got much more motivated for leg day.
Yeah, that's what motivates me as well, right? It's like the amount of weight like you kind of put up. Like that's why I always like bench. It's just because like naturally I was pretty strong at bench.
Mm-hmm.
So like weight went up quickly. So I always just kind of stuck to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like deadlifts for like a really long time. Like I do rack pulls now, but I didn't do like any form of deadlift for
Yeah,
like a really long time because like it's a lot of it is technique.
a lot of it's
I don't
technique, and if you're
I
bad
like
at it
to
and you push it, you're gonna get hurt.
yeah, so like when I go to the gym, I like to turn my fucking brain off and just like become a fucking primate and just like push weight, like it's like not make it too complex. But so like I remember like fucking my back up once with deadlifts and I was just like, you know what? Fuck that shit. I'll just do lat pull downs instead.
Yeah, I'm in
Uh
the same boat. My deadlift is so ass because I never do it because I personally don't like it. It's not necessary for my goals, but every other like back day I'll do it. So like
yeah.
to build that strength in my lower back because I have a lot of lower back issues, to help build my hamstrings, to help build my core, and to like help get that width in the back and that size. Like every once in a while, I'll force myself to do it. But just like you, and maybe Jay Skillett gave it to you as well. Like sometimes just to do the same exact thing, but maybe not get into the technique of deadlift or whatever, or hurt myself. I will just do rack pulls.
Yeah. Well, like I started doing rack pulls before Jay, right? There's actually something that was recommended to me by Benjamin, Dreamy Daddy,
Ooh,
because he's studied fitness and shit as well.
yeah,
He was just like, because I was explaining to him like what my problem was with deadlifts, and he's just like, yeah, why don't you just do rack pulls? Because you skip the point where your problem is.
yeah,
I was just like, oh, that kind of makes sense. So I started doing that and like instantly like got a lot of like progress in it. So like that's like motivated me a bunch with that. And then like it's the same like with squats. Like Jay like improved like my form and technique like a lot.
mm-hmm.
And so that helped because like since then like been moving up the weight while doing like proper technique and proper form with that has like helped out a bunch as
Yeah.
far as motivation goes. So yeah, it's just kind of how it is.
I think moral of the story is if we can go through anything, it's calories in, calories out. It's the most important thing. Don't skip that step, because or
Yeah.
else you're a dummy. Um, Me and Jurn love ourselves, and what's most important is if you don't love,
Everybody else, yeah.
yeah, if you don't
Everybody else should learn to love themselves as well.
exactly, and if you don't love yourself, how you gonna fuck somebody else? Is I think what you said.
Yeah.
What was the
Yeah.
exact phrase?
Well, you gotta love yourself before you can fuck somebody else.
There we go. I love it.
Yeah.
So it's the 10-minute mark. I think Y2 Julian is close to not being timed out anymore, if he's even still here. But maybe that'll be a lesson to not constantly call the host dumb or stupid, because you're the one listening to him. So what's it say about you? So this is the part where we take like questions.
I don't know. I thought Julian was funny.
Of course you do. Of course you
Julian
do.
was funny.
Of course you do. Because you're like the literally worst best friend a person could have.
Yeah.
China says,
You betcha.
I've got a relationship question for AJ. What was your experience dating someone from a completely different part of the world? Any cultural barrier issues, stuff like that?
Why isn't that a question for me? Huh, Chino?
Because you've never dated anyone.
Well, that's true, but I've been with
But
people from different parts of the world.
what you're just trying to say is I've been with many a woman.
Yeah.
But
laid the pipe all over this world.
but let's see what experience. I don't know. The most difficult thing is the distance. Really going back and forth and get back and forth, and until we're married or at least engaged, like we can't. Neither of us can really be in one place for as long as we want to be and be together. So there's constantly a back and forth kind of thing. So that's really the biggest thing. And as far as any cultural barriers, not really, because I had been in Europe for like 2 years at that point before me and Kelly had gotten together. So like
Rockwell.
Raquel.
Rackle.
But that's what my dad calls her. But but like cultural, not really. Just, I mean, the food's different. The big thing is like I come from the country, she comes from the city. But as far as like cultural differences, not like, I'm sure there are some, but nothing really blared at me like, oh, I got to get over this, because like, again, I had adapted to Europe a little bit, and she's from a European country, and although it's different and it's very unique, I loved everything about it. It was wonderful to be there. Nothing was like, oh, I got to get used to this. It was all just amazing. So really, just the biggest thing is the distance and learning to live with, being apart every so often. And obviously right now it's the worst, and we're counting down the days till we see that the border will be open, so we can get her here as soon as possible. So that's been really hard on her and me. But other than that, like no issues, no problems, no cultural like wake ups or anything like that. Also, real quick, I know sometimes I slip on her name, but do not call her by her real name. She hates that. It's not that she hates her name, but if you're not like one of her family members or me or a very close personal friend, it's crossing a boundary with her. So don't do it, or she will not take to it kindly.
I usually just call her Kells as a tribute to R. Kelly.
Hell yeah, that's who you want to pay tribute to. Right.
They're kind of the same.
Chino says, the reason I asked is because I've been talking to a Swedish girl from my school for a while, and now I have zero chance, but I'll take any advice I can get. Dude, the first piece of advice is don't think you have zero chance. The most attractive thing to women, and I think maybe the girls in here can back this up, is not arrogance but confidence. If you're confident and you're not afraid and you're not like tentative or nervous, like that's attractive as fuck.
Yeah, but I get what you mean, though, because like Scandinavian girls are pretty fit, like all across the board. But what you do have to keep in mind, though,
Scandinavian girls are fit. This was your setup with.
What you have to keep in mind, though, Chino, is that like you probably haven't been to Scandinavia.
Yes, I have.
I have. I'm talking to Chino right now.
Well,
I'm not talking to you, AJ.
Sorry, I'm only the co-host, motherfucker.
But like, you've probably never been to Scandinavia, Chino.
I was about to say yes.
But I have. But like, yeah, like women in there are like quite good looking for the most part, like in general. But the men aren't, and and the women still shack up with the men over there. So I don't think you have zero chance at all.
I love how you just attacked an entire like nation and sense of males. I love it.
It's multiple nations. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Scandinavia is the same as Swedish. Yeah. Sweden is in Scandinavia.
Yeah, it's Sweden. It's Denmark. What else is it?
Norway, Finland.
Okay. All right. What's the next question? Who's got another question for us?
I mean, there's one question that asks where are the hottest men at?
Who asked that?
Freya.
Well, let's see. I don't know, dude. What do you think?
Hollywood. I don't know, dude.
Oh yeah, Y2 Julian's back. It's weird. After he comes back, the color of his chat changes. It's weird. Hi, Y2 Julian. Welcome back. But what did you say? What nation?
Hollywood, I guess.
Hollywood.
I'm gonna say nation. Oh, from a nation?
Oh, Chino says Hunt Valley, which is where I'm from. I like no. I'm
That's not true.
yeah, it's not true.
Um,
There's plenty of uggos I got to deal with.
I mean, it depends on what your type is, dude.
Yeah, I guess.
That's kind
But
of the
like,
thing.
like
Because the thing is, I feel confident saying like Scandinavian women are fit, like in general,
yeah.
because like for the most part they're kind of like classically
Mhm.
beautiful. You know what I mean? But I don't know like if there's a country that's just like classically beautiful men. Maybe like Greece.
I don't know. I'm
Thanks for your input, AJ.
yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't want to say the United States because it's full of douches, even if they are attractive. Um,
Yeah, but the United States is also so big. Like
yeah, so it's not
if
even
you
fair.
go by like rule of if you go by just the general state of things, yeah, it's not attractive.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Let's just we gotta decide on a country. Let's fuck.
France? No, Kim.
No,
Come on.
no,
How
come on.
dare you?
What are you doing? Who said France? S- Jenny says fucking hell no to France.
Yeah.
Italy? I've been to Italy. There's some attractive dudes there, but not more so than anybody else. Germany, that's bottom of the barrel right there.
Yeah, Germany is bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
That's so fucking low tier.
I mean, they got Lucky and Jay Skillett, but like, oh, and Pete Bouncer. Oh wait, Pete Bouncer.
Yeah, Pete Bouncer is from Germany.
That's true. That gives them a
But
plus 1 million.
yeah.
But they're
So
already
maybe it's not low tier, maybe it's mid tier.
it's I don't know. They're already at negative 2 million. So um, fuck.
Yeah,
Let's just
hard
pick a
to.
country. Let's just say.
I mean, I said Greece.
Yeah, but I didn't like that one.
Hmm.
Oh, I know.
Bulgaria.
No,
What?
no. Let's say
Russia.
South Africa, because you've got a mix of natives who can protect you. They know the land. They like they grow.
That has nothing to do with like how attractive
No,
they
no,
are,
no, no.
AJ.
Wait, hear me out. Hear my
How
argument out.
physically attractive they are.
You've got a mix of people, right? Because you've got English settlers and you've got natives, and that accent is sexy from the settlers, and the South African people who are like born there, always been there, the generations are there. They've lived off the land. They've grown up tough. They're strong. They can protect. They can hunt. There's a lot of very positive features to that. And like,
I feel like you're projecting right now.
am I?
Yeah, this is just what you find attractive.
Well, yeah. Isn't I mean, attractive is completely an opinion, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Don't you think it's a
What
good
about
pick
like?
though, South America? Because it's a mix of different types of men.
Yeah, like I get that, but South America, you
Oh,
say?
I'm
I
sorry,
think you
South
said South
Africa. South
Africa. Yeah.
Africa.
I get that, but I don't know,
Oh,
man.
Jenny,
I don't know enough about South Africa to like judge.
you never seen Blood Diamond?
No.
I'm just kidding. I don't think that even takes place in South Africa. It just takes place in Africa in general.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. So no country. All men are ugly.
What about the Netherlands, though? Huh? No, that's
Yeah.
definitely not the
No.
case.
No. Maybe the Frisian area.
Yeah,
Frisian.
they got
What?
they got me and my brother, but that's pretty much all the country has.
Okay. So the answer to the question is no.
Yeah.
Uh,
Where are all the hot men at? The answer to the question is they're scattered all over.
oh, Jenny said in
It's like yeah.
Jenny said in the chat, I just said my name and then gave up. All right, then keep your secret. No, the secret was you pointing out that Quebec is disqualified because they speak French.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Um, let me think. Yeah, I guess they're like it's like kind of finding like a type of situation. So they're just scattered all over the world,
You're
and
gonna
you
have to
just
say
like,
that. You're gonna have to say that again because you cut out, and they're gonna
oh
be
my
like, "Oh wait, what?
god.
What's the secret?"
So the secret is you gotta picture it in your mind. But the thing is, like, I guess like with all the hot men, right? The secret is they're scattered all over the world. So it's kind of like a situation of finding a needle in a haystack. These guys keep searching. Yeah, that's the best I can do
All right, guys.
here.
What's our third question?
Yeah, we need another question. I mean, people are just like people are guessing a bunch about the countries.
But as we've confirmed here, the answer is no.
The answer is no to where are the hot men at?
No.
Where are the hot men at? No.
Jenny asked, "What's the secret of life?" The secret of life is 42.
I would say 69.
No, it's a reference to a book.
Oh.
Why you Julian
Well,
asked?
mine was a reference to a sexual position.
I got that. I knew I
Oh, okay.
Why you Julian asks, grower or shower?
I'm a grower.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you're a
Yeah.
shower.
No.
Official Amy Saint just donated 69 bits. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Love to see it.
I like how I have an opinion on your genitals.
Well, I guess that says a lot about me. If you think I'm a shower, say I'm a. Yeah.
You cut out, so would you say it one more time?
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Man, dude, this podcast trying to censor you.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I guess that says a lot about me. If you think I'm a shower, but I say I'm a grower. Yeah.
You're a modest boy.
I don't think that's what it says about me, but whatever.
You're right. You're modest in your demeanor, but there's nothing modest about that dick.
But that ding-a-lang.
My ding-a-lang. My ding-a-ling. My ding-a-ling. My uncle once sang that at a talent show.
Really?
Yeah, got taken off the stage real quick.
Nice. Proud of him.
I'm yeah, I'm definitely man, I feel weird because I just realized that there are like I'm not sure of everybody's age in this chat, but I mean it is for mature audiences only. So I'm gonna really quickly say I am for sure a grower, and that's as much detail as I'm going in.
Hey, you're not gonna describe your penis for the audience?
No, it's best. It's a best kept secret.
It's best left to the imagination.
Yeah, just. So does that question count as our last one? Is that what we're gonna end on?
I don't know. Do you want to end on that?
No, let's go with one more. One more question.
All right, then I guess we'll wait.
Yeah, see what else pops in.
I thought grower or shower was a good question though.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah. People getting real personal, but I don't mind sharing that information. You know what I mean? I'm an open book.
Chino wants to know how hard is it to keep majestic beards?
Not that hard.
It's very hard for me because I have to color it and I really have to do a lot of like moisturizing and bullshit to it to actually make it look full.
I mean, I don't know. Like I've been shaving my beard, but it's like back in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Y2 Julian Y2 Julian asks which Super Saiyan form is the best.
Regular Super Saiyan,
Yeah,
OG.
I'm gonna have to go with the original as well.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 2 was cool when Gohan did it because it was also like super recognizable that he had transformed further. But when everybody else goes Super Saiyan 2, there's not that big a difference between their hair's a little bit spikier, a little bit less yellow, and there's like electricity around them.
Yeah, and I like Super Saiyan 3 as well, but it's just like it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
there was no build,
And
and
then-
it was like, oh, okay, it's a cool moment, but the moment comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. And then Super Saiyan 4 I think is cool, but it's GT.
Yeah,
And then Super Saiyan God, like the red-haired version. I think like it depends on the character. I think that looks fucking sick on Vegeta, but
Yeah.
like Goku looks like a dork with it.
yeah.
And then
Goku looks like he's even drawn different. He looks he looks so much softer. He looks like a baby. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
And then Super Saiyan Blue, I think, is a pretty dope one as well. I really like it.
I think it's cool. I think it looks best on Vegeta because it just matches his all around aura and his gear and stuff.
Yeah, it matches his attire more.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, what?
Do we say Ben and Jerry's as B and J's or BJ's? I just say Ben and Jerry's.
I just say Ben and Jerry's. I was really out of context for a while because all of a sudden I saw some people say like we do like BJ's over here, and some people else is like BJ's all the way, and then one person
I do love BJ's.
Same. One person said, I won't say their name because I don't want to embarrass them, but the one person says my last BJ was rated 8 out of 10. No one will know.
How is that embarrassing?
No one will ever know if I'm talking about the ice cream or the other thing.
But yeah, I love BJ's.
Oh, Freya says answer mine. Isn't that what we're doing? Didn't you ask that?
Yeah,
we answered it.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's
damn,
exactly
Freya,
what we're
calm
ending
down.
right now. Hey, calm your tits, girl.
Yeah.
Don't give us that lip.
Don't you talk back. You're gonna get smacked through this podcast, through this microphone.
I don't know how.
This is that next generation microphone to headphones orientation where you will feel us physically assault you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Now that
have I told the story on the podcast where I had to like mid BJ I had to correct somebody?
Nope, but this is what we're gonna end on. So please.
Okay. So, it's me and this girl and doing our thing, all that kind of stuff. And she starts like going down, like giving me a BJ or whatever. But it fucking hurt.
Real quick.
And
real quick for legal purposes. Everyone underage who might be in the chat who isn't technically supposed to be because this is a rated mature channel, turn off the podcast. I'm not getting sued for you and it's not appropriate. All right, Aaron, continue.
Hey, you can get sued because this shit was rated mature. I'm
not sure if that's
like
legally. I'm not sure if that's legally binding, so I'm just gonna go ahead and protect my own ass. But go ahead. Go ahead with your.
It's like fucking Mortal Kombat, baby. But that shit hurt, dude. So like in the middle of it, I just stopped her. I went like, "Hey, I don't know if you're new to this, but you're not supposed to use your teeth."
Oh God!
While blowing me, and she got all embarrassed. But after that, it was all right.
What? Has she never seen a video?
I don't know, man. But I literally I just stopped her face with my hand, just held her face. I was just like, hey.
I just imagine you with your hand under her chin, lifting it up, like, hey, stop gnawing on my jick.
Yeah. So biting on my pecker, you know?
It's not a bone, girl. I got a bone, but it's not a literal bone.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much the entire story.
Well, thanks guys for joining us this week.
If you want to hear more sex stories, join us next week.
Maybe that'll be the top. I don't think we can make that a topic.
No, probably not.
We'll discuss it off air.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure we both got some fucking doozies. Some of them I just don't want let out, to be honest.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you everybody for joining this week. I hope it was educational and also entertaining at the same time.
Especially the ending was educational.
Yeah, Chenny says make an 18+ stream and just talk about ice cream. To be fair, this whole stream has always been 18+. People are just invading, but thank you everybody for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your week. This will obviously be out next Thursday. Last week's podcast was out this previous Thursday, which was yesterday. And of course, up on the chat or up on the YouTube right now is the day 2 of Henry's survival mode in Minecraft. So please go check that out. It was quite entertaining and it has a touching tribute at the end. Of course, you can follow Marky Gamer at twitch.tv/MarkyGamer, and he's everywhere on the socials at Jurn Simmons.
I am.
Yep, I'm Alexander James. You already know where to find me, or else you wouldn't be here listening. So yeah, word guys, thank you.
Word life. Shout out to your mother.
Looking out.